Okay, today, Nick, we will be looking at living and non-living things. So before we start looking at some pictures and images and start talking about the characteristics, what would be some of the things that you come to mind when it comes to living and non-living things?
Living things can breathe, and non-living things can't, and most living things have a heart.
Okay, yes. Now, could you list some characteristics of living things? So keywords or terms that we're looking at.
Muscles, blood, oxygen.
Okay, so more into the human side, like of living things?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's look at non-living things. What does it mean, non-living?
That it can't provide for itself, or I don't know. It doesn't breathe or move by itself or
So
anything.
it's non-living, so it doesn't live like a cow and a human and a plant and things like that.
It can't, like it's permanent almost.
Permanent. Okay, so now let's look at this sheet telling us the difference between living and non-living things. So you got the living things. That's people, animals, and plants. Okay? And the characteristics is that they'll be growing, they're moving, they're living, they're reproducing and things like that. Then you've got the non-living things. It's natural and man-made. Okay, so there's some of the characteristics and the terms that we can look at for living things and non-living things. Now, tell me, when looking at living things, when looking at a real rabbit, how does that make it a living thing?
Because it can breathe, it can move by itself, it can cater for itself.
Okay. What about a toy rabbit?
Well, it doesn't have the same organs or brain that you need to live.
So
it's man-made, so it can't move or do anything.
Beautiful, man-made. I love how you use that terminology, man-made, and this one's living. Okay. Now, let's look at these collection of photos. I've cut them all out, and I have two tables, non-living and living. Okay, so I'll leave this here saying living and non-living so you know what to look for, the characteristics and the characteristics of non-living things. Can you pull out some images? Tell me what it is and why you think it needs to go in either living or non-living.
This is a real rabbit because it's got a brain and a heart and all organs needed to live.
Okay, yes.
This is living. A real life bee, I think it is, and it's from nature, and it's an animal, which makes it living, and it can provide for itself. It has its own organs and living parts of its body.
Okay, so far you've told me there's two living things, a bunny rabbit and a bee. Okay, can you find me something that's non-living and explain the characteristics of it and why it's non-living?
Well, mailbox or post box or whatever it is, it's non-living because it's made of metal and it doesn't have any biological organs or things to cater to make sure it stays alive.
Okay, so you're telling me metal it's not alive. It can't breathe. It can't move on its own.
Yeah.
Okay, can you pick out another non-living image from the pile, please?
Toaster.
Now, what's the characteristics of that toaster?
Well, it's also metal, and it can only move when a person or something, activates the mechanism of it. So.
Okay. Would you be able to keep sorting these images into these piles? Just tell me what they are and say if it's living or non-living, please.
Robot, non-living. Trees, living. bath, non-living, starfish, living. What's that?
Cat and dog.
Oh, yeah, cat and dog, living. Ice cream, non-living. Cat, living. Bus, non-living. Watch, non-living. Fake rabbit, non-living. Match, non-living. Bug,
I think it's a bug, yes. Or a
bug,
fish.
living. Baby, living. Flower, living. Pencil, living.
Okay, well, thank you for sorting them into those two groups. Now, what did you notice about the living things compared to the non-living things?
They're all made of a biological material or have a brain or a heart and blood and everything to cope to make sure it can live. So everything in the pile can breathe and then everything in this pile can't breathe.
So this is more man-made,
Yeah, man-made
and this is more people and animal and plant.
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sorting them into living and non-living and doing this lesson on living and non-living things.